If you're keeping up, that's fine. If not, or you want to start afresh, browse to your Chapter 17 folder and open the file Chapter 1702 Adding Detail. From the View Section 8, scroll in and double-click on the callout head that includes the pipe, adjacent to Grid 5.1. In here we're going to start adding some detail lines, maybe some hatching or filled regions, and some notes. We can do this from the Annotate tab, and for the most part we're going to use the tools that are in the Detail panel shown here on the ribbon. But whichever of these tools we use, these elements will only be shown in this one view. Take for example the detail line. When we create a detail line, we then get shown the Draw panel. The Draw panel gives us different methods of creating detail lines, whether it's a straight line, rectangle, arc, etc. The line style, here we can select the type of line that we want to draw with, and from the options bar whether we're going to draw a chain and whether we're going to offset from that particular line. Scrolling into the view, I want to create a detail for a pipe hanger. Now at this point I'm not going to impress you with my drafting skills. I just want to be able to show you the different tools that we have available to us. So I'm going to go just with a rectangle, and I'm going to draw a rectangle just the way we would in any drafting exercise. Click the start and the end point of the rectangle. This part of Revit isn't exactly rocket science. Depending on the level of detail you want to go to, we can then start embellishing the detail with additional lines to indicate the pipe hanger. To tidy this up, I might put some temporary dimensions in here. These temporary dimensions allow me to start spacing this out appropriately. So as I go through here and start adding dimensions, you can see that my detail is getting a little bit messy, but this is purely so that I can start adjusting my detail with a bit more ease. Once I've got enough dimensions in here, let's start manipulating this and change some of the dimensions so that we've got a well-balanced detail. I can start locking some of these dimensions so that as we go through and change some of the other elements, notice how the constraints keep my original dimensions the way that I intend them. So lock those two 10mm dimensions and make a couple of final changes. Once I've completed this, I'll go through here and delete my dimensions again. Until my detail displays the way I want it. I'm now free to add text notes. Let's add a note for the pipe hanger. Pipe hanger. And place a leader. One thing you need to be aware of, especially with callouts, is the annotation crop region. That's this dotted line around the outside of the viewport. If I were to select one of these grips and drag it so that it crosses over the top of my note, the note disappears. So if you need more space, simply drag it further out. Because this view is also looking at some of the model elements, we can, of course, always tag elements. Like the pipe, for example. You may find when tagging elements that sometimes the leader doesn't exactly look the way that you want it. Here, we don't have an arrowhead. So simply select the tag. From the Properties palette, click on Edit Type. And here we can define the leader arrowhead. Click on OK. And now every other pipe tag will look the same.